Okay, we're just going to cut these things out of here by just slicing them down the middle like this. Okay, and then we just could pull them out like this. Get rid of them. We don't need them anymore. Okay, we got two here at the bow. Cut those out. Okay, now we have our deck clamp in place. So the first part we're going to put in is up here at the bow. Right up in here, we are going to put a big breast hook. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And that is right here. That is on here, and it's this piece right here. So all we have to do is twist that piece and knock it out. And let's zoom in. Okay, now I have this breast hook glued in place. It's setting here on the deck clamps, and it's resting against these bow frames right here. Now, when I installed it, I had to do a little sanding on the frames, and then sanding this shape right here to fit against those frames. So that's where the deck starts. Okay, the next step is to put in the 3 large deck beams that sit under the guns. So there's 3 of them. There's one here, one about midship, and one here back at the stern. So what we have to do is we have to take them and we have to cut them out. And I'm going to cut them right where these laser lines end. Right here. And then once this is cut here and here, these are just going to fall apart. Okay, I'm going to go over here to my little scroll saw. And once again, here's where this little machine trying to cut this thick deck beam is going to be a very slow process. And that's as far as I got. This is going to take a very long time. So I'm going to go out and use a bigger bandsaw. Okay, here we are back at the work table. Alright, now that I have my deck beams cut, see, they just break apart like that. So, as you can see, they are way too big to fit down in the hull. So we have to cut off this end, and we have to cut some off for this end. Same here in the center. Okay, we don't want to cut it all off of one end because these things have a nice arch to them. Okay, so we don't want to cut everything off one side. So we're going to center them in there and then cut them off each end. Okay. First though, what we have to do is get the location of these. And that we'll do by going over to the computer and getting some measurements. So let's do that, and then we'll come back to this. So here we are on the computer looking at the drawing for the deck of the Caustic. Now what we want to do is we want to put these main beams in. This one right here, this one right here, and this one back here. Okay, so if we zoom in, okay, now I'm going to start here right at the inside of the stem piece. That's where I'm taking my measurements from. So to the center of this beam is 2.316, and the next one is 7.821, and the last one is 12.496. So, okay, we're going to set our calipers to our first measurement, which is 2 inches, 0.302. So we'll just go out to 2 inches, 0.302, and lock it. Okay, we're going to go from the back of our stem here, and we're going to locate the beam. And it's going to go right here. Okay, right there. So let me mark the center of it on the jig. Like so. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is clean up this char, and then we're going to cut it to length. Okay, cleaning up the char is very easy. Just using a straight edge razor blade, and I'm just scraping it clean. Comes off very fast, and we're not taking off enough material to make any difference. We're only taking off 1/1000th or 2. See, that's how nice and clean it gets. So I'm going to do that also to the underside of the frame. Underside of the deck beam. Clean it up. A little bit more to go on the ends. Okay, that's it. That's all we have to do. The next thing I want to do is cut the length of this beam so it fits down inside the hull and on top of these deck clamps right here. So to get that measurement from side to side, I am going to use 2 pieces of cardboard right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them and I'm going to slide them like this. Okay, so I'm going to put them down in here, down by the frame, and I'm going to slide them apart until they fit snug against the side. Okay, then I'm going to pull it out, use a piece of tape, and tape them together. Okay, now I have the length that I need from here to here. So all I have to do now is set that on the beam. So now you can see how much longer that beam is than it should be. So now we're going to cut it down to this cardboard. Okay, I have my deck beam here, and the length that I need to cut it to. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it in there like that. Now I'm going to take my calipers and check it. And that's 0.395, and this side is 0.392. Wow, that is close. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it here and mark it. Okay, and then mark this side like that. So now I have my marks. I'm done sanding, and I got it. Okay, there we go. It's a perfect fit down in there. Now what I'm doing is to make sure it's not in there like cockeyed or anything. I know it's going against this frame right here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm lining it up with the frame on either side, making sure the beam hits. Actually, the front of the beam right here is hitting right at the back of this frame. So I'm going to make sure it's in the exact same location here on both sides. That way I know it's in there evenly. Okay, so that's the first one. So now I got to do the other 2. Alright, here we go. Okay, to put my second beam in, it's here around midship, and it's 7 inches, 0.838. And because my calipers only go to 6 inches, I'm going to have to use this ruler here and start at the back of my stem and line it up like that. Okay. And let's see, 7 inches falls dead center of frame 18. Well, give or take, it's a few thousandths. That doesn't matter. So I'm going to call the center of 18 7 inches. Let me recheck this. Yeah, center of 18. Okay, now let me get my 838. Oop, overran it. Okay, that's close. Alright, frame 18, which is right here in the center. That's the center of my frame. Right there. Let's do the same thing on this side. Frame 18. That's the center of my frame. Give or take a couple thousandths. I don't think it's that important whether you're 3 thousandths off or not. But and this line is the center of the beam. So this deck beam is going to sit right here. Now let's get it, clean it up, and let's get its length cut. Okay, we have our beam nice and clean now. So it's going to be the same deal. We're going to take our 2 pieces of cardboard and we're going to slide them. Okay, down inside where the beam is going to go. Okay, I'm going to push them until they are fitting tight in that space. Hold it. Tape it. And there we have our measurement again. Okay, here we go. We have our breast hook in up here at the bow and our 3 main beams where the guns sit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build the deck between each one of these frames. So the next thing we want to put in would be any hatches. So let's lay that out and do that now.